Welcome to the restoration portion, viewers. This is a PhonoTrix reel-to-reel tape recorder from 1958, I believe. German-made machine given to me by the 8-track chap on YouTube, aka Brian. Now this unit just detected a crack on the head cover. That's not good. That was probably already there though. I'd like to get into functional condition, so we're going to have to do some work to restore. I'll take the reels off, and you can see it has some rust right there, a little rust in there. It's seen better days. The crack is really getting to me, but anyway. So the problem with the foam pad not wanting to retract. So I'll take this part off. Like that. Foam pad's right there. Okay, so here's a foam pad. For some reason it's wanting to continually push on the head. It's not retracting in stop position. So that's a problem. That's play position. The pinch roller engages the capstan. Stop position. Rewind position. But notice the pad refuses to move back. When you go into record, it engages a permanent magnet erase head. And take off the bottom cover of this device. Come on. There we go. You can see the battery compartment. Then we'll have to figure out how we can get this machine apart, which may be next to impossible. The way they put these PhonoTrix machines together, it's very strange. Covering everything with my hand. Once we have all these screws loosened or taken out, looks like we can slide the PhonoTrix recorder out of the case. I had to take the record play switch slider and the volume knob off. Now this whole thing should come out pretty easily. Look at that. Cut that part off. Fantastic. Now we got the machine out of the blue casing. See the transformer right there? Good view in the motor. A lot of stuff's covered up. And the electronics are inside here. It's quite something to see the mechanisms inside. That's the take-up reel right there. Take-up reel spindle. You can tell it needs to be lubricated just by that sound. You can see on the flywheel there's actually a portion that has lots of rust or corrosion. I'll turn it around, you can see the flywheel turn, and then there's a portion there. I think that's why when it was rewinding, the take-up was kind of bouncing. It's not easy to get inside the heart of the machine at all. You've noticed if I move the pinch roller down more, the pad goes up. Also, the pinch roller needs to be lubricated pretty badly, as opposed to be able to spin the pinch roller freely. But there's a lot of friction there, and that can cause lots of wow and flutter or wow problems on recorders if the pinch roller does not move freely. So when to clean the inside of that and lubricate that. I already put some oil down in the capstan to try to lubricate it. I'm going to clean the capstan surface now. Okay, pinch roller pieces now. Put some oil in the roller's inner piece here. Already cleaned the inside. Then we're going to put some oil in this little rod here. Done some little bit of cleaning on the rod. Put some oil on the rod. Put the roller on. Screw down the roller. It moves a lot easier now. A lot less friction than there was before. There's been probably more friction than is desired on this supply rail here. I think this metal piece right here, if I bend it some, might help the positioning of the pinch roller and pad, because it has to do with moving play position. It has to do with moving it over. So I'm going to try bending it slightly and seeing if that fixes anything. Okay, I've bent that piece slightly. And now that I've bent it, notice now I've got spacing from the pad and the head. When I go into play, pad pushes onto the head and pinch roller engages. When I go to stop, pad pushes up away from the head, pinch roller disengages. When I go into rewind, it goes even more so away. So pad system is now adjusted properly. That boom sound was the conversion complete on my editing program for the unboxing video. So you will be seeing the unboxing video unboxing video will be uploaded before the restoration video is uploaded, because I'm literally making the restoration video as I speak, yet the other video had just finished being processed by the editing program, saved as an AVI file, which will then be uploaded onto YouTube. Operating a little better now. I'm going to try a recording test. This is a recording test. Wow. This is a recording test on the PhonoTrix reel-to-reel tape recorder. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let me get a sip of coffee here. Testing on the PhonoTrix. actually rewinds now, believe it or not. It's definitely an improvement from where we used to be. Apparently it failed to record. It did. Let's test that again. I don't think we were making a good enough electrical contact. I know this thing's recorded before, unless it's a microphone connection related thing. It might be, actually. Testing 1, 2, 3. I know when I've used this before, it recorded. When I first tested record, it recorded. I think it's the microphone. I think the microphone has a bad connection, because the thing was able to record before. And this looks a little hairy right here anyway, so I think that it could be something to do with that. Well, we're testing the resistance of the mic. We can see it's a 200 ohm DC resistance. Clearly, the microphone is still good. And out of curiosity, we put that on AC volts. I bet it will register some voltage when I yell into it. Or make a noise. Ooh! Yeah, that's millivolt range. Ooh! So the microphone is definitely fine. So the recorder has decided to not to record, and I do not know why, because before, when we tested it originally, it recorded just fine. Well, aside from the speed fluctuations, it recorded just fine. Okay, so I was making a recording. I was going hello, hello, hello many times. And anyway. I was moving the jack around, so clearly it's just the loose connection, or just needs to be cleaned. Just need to clean the contacts or something like that. Okay, so cleaning those contacts seems to have done it. Keep forgetting.
Capstan, this is the recording after cleaning the contacts. Let's see if this works. Testing 1, 2, 3. Cleaning after cleaning the contacts.
Okay, so I'm making another recording on the PhonoTrix recorder. We're going to try adjusting our speed. What I'm also going to be doing is cleaning the rheostat that's used for the speed control. Unfortunately, this does not have any kind of speed regulation. There's no governor, no servo control system, no transistorized control circuitry or anything for the motor. It's just a motor straight in series with a low resistance pot or rheostat. So tape speed can vary greatly based not only on battery voltage, but also on the tape tension, on how much friction there is on the friction clutch. If I stop that, the motor speed slows down. So the pitch control, it's the speed control. You can get quite a wide range of speeds with this recorder, but you may have to keep adjusting that speed knob to keep it where you want it. So now we're going to rewind and play back. Rewind and play back. So all a little bit of lubrication and everything has greatly improved this.
The take tension, how much friction there is in the friction clutch. If I stop that, the motor speed slows down. So, the pitch control, it's the speed control. You can get quite a wide range of speeds with this recorder, but you may have to keep adjusting that speed knob to keep it where you want it.
Okay, so we definitely got some definite improvement in operation out of this little recorder with just some basic lubrication and some cleaning, which is really all it really needed. Thankfully, the original electrolytic capacitors are still good because accessing them wouldn't be the easiest thing in the world. Unfortunately, there's some cosmetic issues. There is a small crack on this. It was already there when I got it. There is also this little part here is messed up, but that was already there when I got it. And it's a little scratched right there too. And of course the rust and everything. And I'm thinking I might repaint this sometime. I'd have to cover everything else up, and then if I can find some spray paint that's the same off whitish yellowish color, I'd love to give this a new paint job, because it's a nice little recorder. It's a shame that it wasn't in better cosmetic condition, but I really like this little PhonoTrix. And of course it's not fully restored yet because the battery contacts are still an issue, because I just have it hooked up to my old Heathkit power supply from the 1970s, which powers it very nicely at 6 volts. And anyway, so we've definitely got some good improvement out of this recorder. Definitely able to get this machine functional. I know the rewind is bouncy, and the reason why is because of the corrosion that is on the flywheel itself. But accessing that flywheel in order to clean that corrosion off is, I think, more trouble than it's worth. Because although it's a little bumpy, rewind does work, and the main point really is that rewind works, and rewind works, even though it's a little bumpy. Now here you can see the reason why the capacitors aren't easy to get to. Because the electronics, I'm going to turn the power supply off. The amplifier is inside this little cage here. You may barely be able to see one of the capacitors there, that little blue deal there. Getting into that to replace capacitors may not be the really easiest thing in the world. The way these PhonoTrixes are put together is very strange. To remove this piece here from the rest of this, these metal bars here have to be shifted over and pulled out. But they went through the trouble to glue, or use paint as glue, it looks like, all over that, and making these things not really easy to shift. I tried shifting one and it just wouldn't want to budge. So I can't really get this thing open. Here you can see the rheostat for the speed control. I'm going to go ahead and treat that with some WD-40. Oh, my meter is reminding me to turn it off. So I got WD-40 on this Q-tip. I'm going to get a little bit more WD-40 on there. I was going to use that Q-tip with the battery thing. I'm trying to regulate how much comes out. There's a lot there. If I pushed too hard, it would have sprayed like crazy though. And clean that so I can get more consistent contact to hopefully get a better control of my speed. Especially to be able to set it to lower speeds, because I really want to be able to run this machine at very low speeds, even though the recording quality at those low speeds be absolutely horrendous. I like the idea of long recording time. So this area here that needs a new contact, I cleaned that a little bit, clean so to speak, with alcohol to see if I can get a better adhesive contact or to hold onto this better. This is a piece of copper tape in a sense, adhesive copper. It was used for stained glass purposes. I've never done stained glass, but back in 2004 I was introduced to the idea of making electronic circuitry using this copper adhesive, kind of like printed circuits. And although it tends to come off easily when heated by solder, a soldering iron, it is extremely useful for constructing projects. So for here, I'm going to use it as a new battery contact. I can tell that cleaning that with alcohol has paid off, because the adhesive is now wanting to actually hold on to that, which is fantastic. So now we'll try putting some Rayovac cells and see if it will run on battery power. Give a quick shout out to the YouTuber Rodalco 2007, because his relationship with batteries. And now that there, hopefully we'll make good enough electrical contact for reliable operation. Let's see if it turns on. Nothing. It's just the contact down here. But now, again, same contact as the one that's giving us the problem. It works, it's just a contact problem. And it's a problem, Houston. Well, let's go ahead and put this back in its case. Okay, the machine is back in one piece. Playback. And rewind. And we'll load a tape on it. We want to make a recording. I am making a battery-powered recording on the PhonoTrix reel-to-reel tape recorder, now back in one piece. Although cosmetically not in the best shape, the machine is now functioning. Let's see how this comes out. Notice when I go to rewind, it does not do anything because it does not allow you to rewind in record position, otherwise you'd be erasing. Oh, it's just the switch connection. Notice how much weaker it is because I'm running it on batteries.
I am making a battery-powered recording on PhonoTrix reel-to-reel tape recorder, now back in one piece. Although cosmetically not in the best shape, the machine is now functioning. Let's see how this comes out.
This is another recording. I'm making a recording speaking up to the mic with the level set all the way up, so it's probably going to overdrive. I will turn the level down some as I'm talking here. It is 1:22 a.m. January 27th, 2018.
I'll turn the level down some as I'm talking here. The level set all the way up, so it's probably going to overdrive. I will turn the level down some as I'm talking here. It is 1:22 a.m. January 27th, 2018.
It's not too bad with the recording quality.
Hello, my name is Vic Brewery.
What's your name?
I'm going to run it at a slower speed if we can. I'm making a recording while I'm running this machine at a very slow and probably extremely fluttery and unstable speed. Oh, sea grinder. I'm going to drink some coffee here. And we're going to see how it comes out making a recording at such a slow speed. The level is set all the way up. Also purposely left all the way up to make a hotter recording on the tape to have louder sound for the slow speed.
How it comes out. Making a recording at such a slow speed, the level is so low. For purpose of hotter recording on the tape to have louder sound for the slow speed. I'm from the future.
Whoa, this is cool. Breaker. Where did you get this thing at? So can you just keep on recording over? Yeah. That is so cool.
Okay. Now we will get the reel prepared to play back the mystery British Scotch tape. Here's a Scotch tape. Was owned by John Hendron. So let's take that Scotch tape out of here. Irony is it is an American reel, but owned by a Brit. Scotch reel. Okay. Oh yes, I gotta remember, it's a PhonoTrix. Gotta wind it in that weird way. Like that. This is gonna be original recordings. This is very special here. The original recordings made on this machine, I believe. This is the first time I'm ever playing them back. And who knows, we might end up being greeted by a blank tape. But we might be greeting with some interesting recordings. We'll have to see. Okay. Oh, I got a buzz. Okay. But nothing yet. Oh my gosh. Notice the tape here. It's not being wound tightly on the reel. That's because these PhonoTrix machines are supposed to use bigger inner diameter 3-inch reels. I have some reels like that, but they're back in Arkansas. Well, it doesn't seem like we got much on this thing. It may be a very disappointing tape after all. We just got a buzzing noise the whole time, apparently. I don't know why. Good news, everyone. The other side actually has recordings. The first side I played was nothing but that noise. When I played I just played a snippet of the other side, and I was like, oh, there's actually some recordings on there. So we're going to start to play them.
Where'd you hang?
You're talking about environment. It reminds me of a neighbor. My son went over there to visit, and my wife is very newsy about it because the woman has a reputation of not being much of a housekeeper. My wife asked my son if it was true that her house was messed up. My son said, well, I don't know. But when the phone answered, they couldn't find it. The phone rang, they couldn't find it. That was a good joke. Well, actually, I think the woman was rather upset. She has 6 kids, and they were pretty rambunctious. And when the phone rang, there was someone answered, and a woman answered, and asked her how she was, and she told her all her troubles. The woman said, well, you just sit back and relax, and I'm going to come over, and I'm going to take over. I'll clean your house, take care of your kids, and everything else. And the woman is flabbergasted. The other woman on the other end says, by the way, how's Sam? And the neighbor says, Sam? Who's Sam? Well, your husband. I don't have a husband by the name of Sam. The woman paused a minute and said, I must have the wrong number. So her neighbor said, gee, then you're not going to come over? Speaker number 2 is our genial storekeeper, John Galbraith. This week he's going to be speaking on garden pets, and he'll be speaking for 5 minutes, so let's all start digging. John Galbraith. Toastmasters? Oh, Toastmasters and guests. Last week when you were working in your garden, how'd you find your crop of snails? Snails are one of our biggest pests in gardens and lawns. They always have been for many, many years, and they will continue to be unless we find some way to exterminate them. Now, over at the Galbraith Rancho, a few blocks over here on Rydell Way, we have a different type of snail. We have little ones, we have big ones, we have some about like this. When you stand them up, they're about this high. Even bigger than that. Now, just so that you gentlemen won't doubt my word.
In a separate video, this recording will be presented having been transferred using the UHER 4000 Report S. Now, I have reason to believe this is an audio letter recording, and I can tell by the way it sounds that it was not recorded on this recorder. It would have been recorded on a different machine, probably an AC bias recorder, and then sent as a letter. Obviously also not a British person on the tape. So perhaps Americans were living in Britain, or perhaps people from Britain knew some people in America and were sending audio letters, and this was an audio letter sent from the United States to Britain and played back on the PhonoTrix. And who knows, somewhere around the time there may have been recordings made on this PhonoTrix years ago that were sent back to whoever sent this recording. But those recordings are probably long lost to history from this classic reel-to-reel tape recorder. It is a sunlit morning. I have the speaker opened up here. The bad news is I do not have another speaker that's the same size, 2.5-inch speaker on hand, because all of those are
Although I have several 2.5-inch speakers, they reside in Arkansas. The original driver is a 4 ohm, and although it does speak, it is greatly distorted. It's got rubbing problems. The voice coil sounds like it's seen better days.
So I turn on, start the hits for certain sun's not that nuclear bomb burning in the sky. Just like it's not a lot of collaborating in the sky, like it. And they got dragging. There's a little fire across the sky, you know?
But it is a very interesting speaker to see. I really like the style of speaker, and it's a shame that it would need to be replaced at all. But yeah, if you can, let me turn off this heater. If you can hear carefully. It's definitely seen better days. It's rubbing like really badly. But it's such an interesting looking speaker. An old German speaker from the late 1950s. The Alnico magnet is just huge by comparison. It's incredible. But that'll be put back in to the container since I don't have a replacement. Otherwise I would replace this speaker as much as I like the original speaker's looks and everything. Once I find a replacement, I'll need to replace it because this one sounds really, really bad.